Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to talk about the Indianapolis weekend for Cup, Xfinity, and the Truck Series. But before we get into that, let's first talk about next couple weeks scheduled race, which is at Richmond Raceway, the summer race for Richmond. This will also be the first race that there'll be two different tire options, basically the primes and the options. So that's definitely going to be very interesting to watch. But because of the Summer Olympics happening, they will be like a 3-week break, I believe, between Indianapolis and Richmond. So it's gonna be a bit of a break for the NASCAR circuit. So that's gonna be interesting to say the least. Now Richmond will have just the Cups in the Truck Series, so the Xfinity Series will have an extended break, I believe. Saturday, August 10th at 2:30 p.m. will be practice, and 3 p.m. as well will be qualifying for the Truck Series. Both of them will be on FS1. 4:30 p.m. and 5:35 p.m. will also be practice qualifying for the Cup Series. Both of them will be streaming on NBC Sports. And finally, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time will be the Truck Series race for the running of the Clean Harbors 250. They have on FS1, MRN, and Sirius XM. And then finally, Sunday, August 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time will be the Cup Series race for the running of the Cookout 400. That'll be on USA, streaming on NBC Sports, MRN, and Sirius XM. Let's now have a look now at the Truck Series results at IRP. And the winner of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at IRP is Ty Majeski, followed by Christian Eckers, Grant Finger, Tyler Ankrum, Lane Riggs, Sammy Smith, Luke Fanhouse, Roger Carew, Dean Thompson, Nick Sanchez ran out of the top 10, followed by Ross Chastain, William Sawalish, Chase Purdy, Bailey Curry, and Jack Wood ran out the top 15. Mr. Corey Heim, well, let's just say his front right tire went down and showed his displeasure to Christian Eckers. Yes, both championship contenders, or the favorites I should say, of winning the championship, had a bit of a heated discussion. Basically, it looked like Eckers just didn't give Heim any real estate, any room. Because, I mean, to be fair, there was plenty of room that he could have gone down to. But at the same time, there was a bit of room that Heim could have gone up on. So it definitely is a racing incident, but I can obviously understand why Corey Heim is frustrated. Both of them have raced each other so much this season and last year as well. So it's going to be interesting now, coming to next week on who is going to be more pissed and who's going to really throw the baton at them. Who's really going to ignite the fire, because this is just, we're only like simmering, you know? It's like the start of it, but it's not the peak. We're starting this little rivalry between Heim and Eckers. They did have a talk after the race as well, and obviously Corey Heim was very, very frustrated, and Christian Eckers, I mean, he took responsibility, so at least he can take responsibility, but it's still a very interesting situation with Corey Heim and Christian Eckers now, as the top two have collided, I think, for the first time in their careers. So we'll see if that continues throughout this year, and especially going to the playoffs. I mean, hell, we saw what happened last year at Phoenix with Corey Heim and Carson Hocevar. We saw it. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, nothing really else. But Ty Majeski, he recovered pretty sure from a restart violation, I believe. So he had to pit during green flag running. So that was a really good recovery drive there from Majeski, and also the first time Ford has won, I'm pretty sure, this season. It's mainly been Chevy and Toyota. Yes, it's mainly been Corey Heim and Christian Eckers, but first win for Ford in the Truck Series. That is something I never thought I would say this late into the season. But let's now look at the other finishes outside of the top 15. Taylor Gray struggled. Corey Heim, like I mentioned before, he finishes down in 17th. Ben Rhodes as well, reigning champion, 21st. What a not a good day for him. Nor as well for Johnny Sauter, as he was running for Hattori and Racing Enterprises just for a one-off, and he finishes out in 23rd. Matt Crafton as well, his old teammate, finishes out in 24th after as well getting 4th in Stage 2. Marco Andretti had a bit of a run-in with Lawless Allen, who finished down in 28th. So this is a bit of rivalry as well between Andretti and Allen. Daniel Dye also struggled as well, even though he finished 10th in the first stage. Conor Daly also had a problem as well. I'm pretty sure the same time as Corey Heim with a tire going down. Jake Garcia stalled on the track. I'm pretty sure Stuart Friesen had a horrendous day. And the only driver to actually retire, that being Mason Massey, due to an incident that happened in the race. Let's now have a look now at the standings. And this is the standings now after IRP. Christian Eckes is still in the lead only by 50 points over Corey Heim. Followed by Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Roger Carew, Tyler Ankrum, Grant Finger, Taylor Gray, Ben Rose, Tanner Gray ran out the top 10. Followed by Daniel Dye, Stuart Friesen, Matt Crafton, Chase Purdy, and Dean Thompson ran out the top of 15. The biggest movers were Majeski, Tanner Gray, and Dean Thompson, all of them going up one spot, while the biggest losers were Nick Sanchez and Daniel Dye going out one spot. It is worth mentioning as well that Grant Finger, Ty Ankrum have all locked themselves into the playoffs via points. So there's now only 3 positions left, that being Taylor Gray, Ben Rhodes, and Tanner Gray. Only a 5-point deficit between Tanner Gray and Daniel Dye for the final playoff spots. Let's now have a look now at the Xfinity results. And the winner of the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Indianapolis is Riley Herbst, followed by Cole Custer, Eric Almirola, Shane Van Gisbergen, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Daniel Dye, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier, and Carson Quaffle ran at the top 10, followed by Ryan Sieg, Parker Kligman, Jesse Love, Connor Daly, and Brandon Jones ran at the top 15. This race was phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. There was a bit of a dud with a lap 1 wreck that happened. Basically, Allmendinger and Mayer, they made contact, pretty sure coming to turn 3, I believe. Allmendinger around the outside, and Mayer washed up contact, and then that collected like Chandler Smith, I think Jordan Anderson drivers as well, with Park Retzlaff and Jeff Burton, I believe. I can't remember who else got it. I think Justin Allgaier might have gotten a piece of it. Maybe as well Jesse Love, but it wasn't really a good start. I thought it was going to be reminiscent of the, 2017 Brickyard 400 when Casey Kane won and there was like 1,500 cautions then. So that's why I thought it was like, oh god, this is not going to go well. But it went really, really well, actually, for this whole series. And what everyone is going to be talking about in this race is that last lap pass between Riley Herbst and Eric Almirola and Cole Custer as well. I mean, those 3 had maybe the best battle I've ever seen in my life. It really reminded me of basically like Pat O'Ward and Joseph Newgarden battling this year in the Indy 500, and this is basically Riley Harris battling against Cole Custer and Eric Almirola, maybe the 3 fastest guys in this race. So it was amazing to watch. So it was great to see that Riley Herbst is not a one-win wonder, which is a great sign because, I mean, there's rumors of Riley Herbst going to 2311 Racing. That definitely does help him if those rumors are true. So, obviously, but not too sure. And as well, I mean, Cole Custer, he's now coming back now to the Cup Series, and he's now going to be driving the 41 car for the Haas factory team now. So, that'll be pretty interesting there. I mean, it wasn't really a surprise, but it was happening at some point. So it's cool that Cole Custer, he's now back in the Cup Series. Riley Herbst, he's possibly now in the Cup Series now with 2311 Racing, which is pretty cool. But obviously there's a lot more moving parts to it. And hell, I mean, Eric Almirola, he's back after his little scuffle with Bubba Wallace behind the scenes in Toyota. So I mean, luckily he's back now, which is a great sign. And I mean, hell, I mean, he was really good as well. Recovered from a spin that happened a couple laps ago, so a great sign there for Almirola. Let's now have a look now at the other finishers outside of the top 15 now. Oh, where do we start off with? Matt DiBenedetto had a really good run here as well, finishes up in 16th place. Joe Graf Jr. in his first Joe Gibbs Racing start, I believe, finishes in 17th. Who else? Chandler Smith, 33rd after being part of that wreck on lap 1. Anthony Alfredo, Parker Retzlaff, and Josh Williams, they had their own separate wreck, which was really strange that Alfredo, like, basically came down onto the track and got apologized by Retzlaff and Josh Williams. And then the only 2 retirements that being Sam Mayer and Josh Berry, which were a part of that lap 1 wreck. Let's have a look now at the Xfinity Series standings after Indianapolis. So here are the standings now after Indianapolis for the Xfinity Series. Cole Custer still in the lead only by 56 points over Justin Allgaier. They have Austin Hill, Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst, AJ Allmendinger, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, Parker Kligman, Ryan Sieg ran out the top 10. Followed by Sammy Smith, Sam Mayer, Shane Van Gisbergen, Brandon Jones, and Anthony Alfredo ran out of the top 15. The biggest movers were definitely Riley Herbst and Ryan Sieg, both of them going up 2 spots, while the biggest loser was Sam Mayer going down 2 spots. Riley Herbst has also now officially locked himself into the playoffs after his win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's also have a look now at the Cup Series results at Indianapolis. And the winner of the NASCAR Cup Series at Indianapolis is Kyle Larson, followed by Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Todd Gilliland, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, Noah Gragson, Chase Elliott to round out the top 10, followed by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Carson Hocevar, Austin Dillon, Corey LaJoie, and Ross Chastain round out the top 15. Well, Kyle Busch, you've done it again, you absolute moron. Well, I'll be honest, it definitely was his fault, actually. Basically, coming into turn 2, he was battling with Denny Hamlin. Busch kind of looked like he was going a bit too hot in that corner and slid up and hit Hamlin, and he went spinning out. Goals in overtime. Another OT. I think he did this like in Nashville, I believe, and that had 5 overtimes, and it felt like it was gonna be that again, I'll be honest. But it didn't. It was a bit controversial. I mean, there was a wreck that happened which involved the likes of Hamlin, Nemechek, Hemrick, I believe. Who else was part of that? Bowman as well. All those 4 drivers were part of that wreck, and it was a pretty hefty hit, especially for Nemechek, who basically hit the inside wall of the pit lane. Well, not the actual pit lane, but like the pit wall basically. So it was a very vicious hit. They did have the red flag, which makes sense, but alright, let's talk about the finish then, because it's very controversial. Basically, restart happened after the cleanup on the red flag, and exiting out turn 2, and then we see the background Ryan Preece is spinning on the backstretch. Now, NASCAR, what they normally do is that they normally wait until the car can eventually move, so they don't have to bring out a caution. NASCAR should have maybe brought the caution a bit earlier before the before the white flag came out. Definitely, I mean, there's definitely a chance, and it definitely as well. It was a very sour taste in everyone's mouth after leaving that. I mean, none of the people was really happy with that. Yes, Kyle Larson won, which is cool. It's great to see Larson winning. I'll be honest, here at Indy after what happened in the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola Center double, but don't you just think it's a bit scripted? Even though my favorite driver is Kyle Larson, I'll say that. I'll proudly say that. But even as a Larson fan, it did feel a bit scripted. I mean, to be fair, Larson, I mean, he was charging between two Blaney because Keselowski, both of them were saving fuel, so that really makes sense. But the restart there, like with Preece spinning out, they could have maybe, pull out the caution, maybe around turn 4 maybe, but they didn't. They waited until the white flag came out and then they brought out the caution. But as well, I mean, the track itself is pretty big. I mean, and Preece had quite a lot of time to escape, but because of the flat tires, he couldn't. So he was kind of just stuck to like a turtle upside down. So yeah, I mean, it's controversial. It definitely is controversial. And how, I mean, Larson, he is going to maybe be the new poster child for NASCAR, or I should say golden boy, as what Ryan Blaney said. But I mean, yeah, it's very controversial finish, and even though it was some great racing, it was like the best racing I've ever seen on this track for a while. It's just the ending. It's just a bit sour in everyone's mouth, I'll be honest. But yeah, I guess what we have to do now is just move on because it happened. But hopefully next time, I don't know, because I quite like that NASCAR is holding a bit longer just in case if the car does move out of the scene. And people obviously are saying that, oh, thank God it's over because they don't really want to repeat of Nashville, which is fair. I mean, Nashville was absolutely shit. I hated Nashville. It was great entertainment, but 5 OTs, a bit too much, I'll be honest. I guess they didn't want to repeat of it, which makes sense. But at the same time, maybe another caution would have been the best decision. But I don't know, because it's all over the place, I'll be honest. Sound off in the comments below, because I would love to hear what everyone here wants to, basically, your decision, and kind of just where you're standing on the situation here. Should have NASCAR thrown out the caution a bit earlier, or where did they throw the caution? Was basically correct. So I'll sound out in the comments. I will try and read all of them. But let's now have a look at the other fishes outside of the top 15. Let's have a look right now. Zane Smith, he was running like 4th place, I'm pretty sure, before the caution came out for Kyle Busch spinning now. So he was running really good. Ty Dillon for maybe a one-off, maybe a couple of other races, maybe finishes out in 19th. Brad Keselowski, who led throughout until that caution from Kyle Busch, ran out of fuel on the first restart, finishes out in 21st in front of his teammate Chris Buescher. Kyle Busch, basically the culprit of this whole mess, finishes out in 25th. Ryan Preece, who effectively ended this race, finishes out in 26th. Nemechek, Jones, Bowman, and Hamlin, all of them were part of that incident, which basically red flagged this race momentarily. Jimmy Johnson, Joe Logano, part of the incident itself. Josh Berry, a part of an incident itself as well. Clint Harrison Burton and A.J. Allmendinger. William Byron as well, accident and spinning himself out as well in the backstretch. And down last place is B.J. McLeod due to a engine problem. But let's now have a look now at the Cup Series standings. Standings wise now for the NASCAR Cup Series, Kyle Larson takes another win, and now the championship lead now hands over to him, followed by Chase Elliott 10 points back and Tyler Reddick 15 points back. Then we have Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Montreal Jr., Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman ran out of the top 10. Followed by Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, Bob Wallace, and Joey Logano ran out of the top 15. The biggest mover was definitely Ryan Blaney going up 2 spots, while the biggest losers were the JGR teammates of Montreal Jr. and Ty Gibbs going down 2 spots. So just a reminder that couple weeks schedule race, it will be at Richmond for Cup and the Truck Series. So now, like, guys, to like, comment, subscribe, it would really help, especially on this channel. How about from going from a amazing finish in the Xfinity Series to now a very controversial finish in the Cup Series? This is not good. Not a good way to end up the weekend, I'll be honest. But that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.